Okay, and that's very possible, that's very possible,
That's
however, it's a
possible.
long-term plan.
Cause my mom, she went to go visit me at the apartment, and she started talking about like looking at the place, with them eyes, and she was like, "Oh, you need to clean." I was like, "Bitch, if you don't like the apartment, you could leave right now."
Okay, but let's go back to the question. What can we offer this client in terms of her situation right now? What was that?
A lot of therapy. I can't with her.
Okay, that's not a bad recommendation. Perhaps some counseling, co-therapy with her mother, yes.
It's just funny how you said it. What?
That's not necessarily what we want to recommend if there isn't some level of.
That's why I want to start the club.
Okay, we're gonna talk about the club in a second because I want to answer that question because that's a really
Because
important
I'm
question.
the loca, I'm the one that, I told her yesterday, I already changed, you're the one that needs to change in a, loud mouth.
Okay, so therapy or co-therapy, family therapy, would be a wonderful recommendation for this person. Because she still has to deal with mom. She's still at least a year or so away before she can graduate. We don't know about getting a job, and we don't know about getting her own place. So when you have a client that has these long-term goals, besides looking at the up-to goals and the through goals and celebrating these short, term goals, every paper that's submitted every week, every month, every class that's finished, you need to see what you can offer them in terms of, to appease the situation while they're in their misery. So life is good changed, the answer changed because of what happened yesterday. Now, what would you have answered to that on Friday?
On Friday, and what,
Friday you went out to the club, I don't know if you had an okay day.
oh no, because she also was like, "Oh, you need to be careful, you better not, drink how you used to." She's just used to, my old ways, and I'm like, you need to get over that, I'm different now, and if you don't see it, because I told her I'm.
If you don't see it, what?
Oh,
Finish
then it's like you just don't see it, you don't get who I am then. at the
How
end of the
much
day.
is an influence of what your mother thinks about you?
A lot. That's why I told you the whole acceptance thing.
Yeah,
So
that's an area that you need to work on with this client.
so
This
I
person
told
is
her,
not recognizing their own strengths. They're not recognizing their own grit, their own resilience. We're gonna do those scales now in a little bit.
yeah,
So
but I
she's
told
still waiting for the acceptance of the other. That's a very dangerous place to be.
I
Yes.
think, and I wanted you to hear this because I kept, after yesterday's conversation, I kept trying to think of, because I met you here. So all I know is your stories with your mom, your stories about your past, but I had never hung out with you before. So now that I have, and I see how she behaved, and I saw how
You seen the girl
whole
that
thing.
was falling on top of me, that the guy was like, I'm the babysitter or whatever?
Yeah.
That's the way I was.
So
So
after seeing all of this, I started, asking questions to myself, and I'm like, why does she try so hard? She has this contradiction of, I'm the same person, I'm the same ways, and then she goes, no, I'm completely different. And what I mean by that is that I feel like, especially with your mom, it's like you try to prove her so wrong that you prove her right. Like you try so hard to get her
I could see
approval,
that.
be like, I changed, mom, I changed, I promise you. You don't see it, but I promise you that I've changed. And that just,
I
And
see
Paula,
you in the.
What would be the worst thing that happens if your mother never acknowledged your change?
At this point, it's like, fuck it.
Fuck what?
Fuck what she thinks.
It's okay.
I just I see her taking all her shit out on me. And that's why I wanted to do that club thing. Because it's like, to see whose side is either wrong or if we're meeting in the middle or what the fuck we're doing. Cause every time we talk, like on Friday, I had planned this whole thing and I told her I'm staying out the whole, and she like looked at me like, what do you mean you're staying out the whole weekend? Like your brother's gonna be here by himself. My brother has the whole issue, but I'm like, he's 23, he could take care of his own damn self. And that's not my business.
That's not
Like,
your business.
I was like, I got a 2-year-old to handle. That's your shit. I love my brother, but I'm not always gonna be there. And I tell her, what the hell's gonna
So
happen
what
when you're not
part
there?
of you, what strong, resilient, gritty, strength, courageous part of Paula can you find? Because when I hear you say, I've got a 2-year-old to take care of, I'm not responsible for a 23-year-old, I'm hearing strength. I'm hearing courageousness.
Like prioritizing.
Okay, what part of that can you find to care a little less about what your mother thinks about
About
you?
the whole school thing and stuff. Because I know at the end of the day, I'm gonna hit her in the face with at least showing her everything that I'm doing. Cause that's my goal, to just be like, shut the fuck up, look where I'm at, and look at where you're at.
Okay. We still have some work to do with this client in terms of moving her away from wanting mother's approval, yes.
One thing I have to add to that is, okay, so like Sunday, was it Sunday, when my sister-in-law was here, me and her are like best friends. And that's part of the reason I didn't go, because she didn't feel comfortable sleeping somewhere
Yeah.
that she didn't know. So I was like, all right, I said, I'll catch up with my girls later, we'll do this. Me and her are like super close for like 7 years. Now this story's relevant to hers because it's like, whoa, moms are just going fucking crazy. My mom decides to tell me that she feels rejected and I have no manners because I didn't hang out with her and my sister at the same time the whole time she was there. Now, my thing is I live with you. You have me every day in person. This is my time with my sister. This is my husband's sister. He didn't even get to hang out with her because me and her were like, oh, you coming, bitch? Okay. Where are you going? I'm gonna go take a shower. You're gonna sit on the floor? Yeah, I'm gonna go sit on the floor. We had our girl talk. So she tells me yesterday, I have no manners. Not yesterday, Sunday. And that hit hard because of the most I try to do is please her. I try to be the best for her. Take care of her, take care of my husband, take care of everybody. And no one asks me how the hell I feel about it.
And whose responsibility is it? We have to get through our heads, especially women. We are responsible for our own selves. This client that I told you that I had this morning, last week, I had her do an assignment. What were the blessings of losing your husband? That's a hard assignment when you've been married for 50 years. She had to become more self-reliant. She had to learn to take care of the bills. She had to learn to, order things for the house. She had to learn to do her taxes. We have to find the blessings. And this is not about being naive, but we must take care of ourselves. No one is going to do that for us. I have said this before, your family is not happy when you change. Your family is not happy when you change, not your spouse, not your children, not your brother. Why?
You're becoming who you want to become, which is pulling away from them a little.
And then they're forced to change.
That's why I say, like, I ignored her for the rest of the time. I wanted to argue because she was saying this in front of my daughter. And my daughter walked up to me, she goes, are you okay? You look mad. And I was so mad I could cry, but I like quickly held it in. And I'm just like, no, I'm good, I'm good. And I took her to go paint her nails or something. And I told my mom, I said, you can't do that in front of my kids. Your issue with me, take me outside, we can talk, we can scream at each other outside. We can't do it in front of the kids. Well, that's why I stopped. I said, no, you stopped after you disrespected me. You didn't stop
The
before
biggest
you
thing
disrespected
that
me.
we're gonna do for our child, our children, is take care of ourselves. They can speak outside to you and not hear. You and your mom can speak outside and the children not hear it. Energetically, your children know everything.
Yeah.
Subconsciously, the children know everything.
Can I
The
just-
most you can do is take care of yourself and have your own self-respect. Sorry.
No, it's fine. I'm sorry to interrupt. I just wanted to make sure I remembered to ask you this. When you told her you disrespected me, did you do that in front of your children?
Yeah,
No, she didn't. You did it.
I did. Oh,
I did
The
it.
reason I ask is because it's great that you did that, because you spoke up for yourself. But I think that since she had already said that to you in front of them, you need to show your children that you need to be respected.
I try to shield them from everything that's conflict. And I'm dumb for doing that because it's like they'll come to me anyway and go, what's wrong? And I know she's smart as hell because she goes, are you okay? Did Mimi upset you? And I'm like, okay, so you're only worried about that right there told me like this needs to change. So I stood up for myself and she tried to talk to me and I said, no, you said what you had to say. You didn't ask me how I felt. I will talk to you when I'm ready to talk to you. I'm not ready to talk to you right now.
And I don't mean to say that you need to have this big argument in front of the kids. I'm just saying that if you were to just as an idea, if you were to say to her, I don't like what you just said to me, and we're going to talk about this privately later, then what you're showing your children is that, you're allowed to tell people what you don't like. You're allowed to say, this is not good.
I always shield them from everything and I need to stop.
You think you're shielding them.
Yeah, I
Right.
think.
And there's nothing wrong with that. If you know, I don't think kids need to be hearing arguments of adults. They don't need to hear that. But I'm a big believer in showing them by example. I tell my kids all the time, I don't care who it is. No one gets to disrespect you. No one gets to make you feel uncomfortable. And it doesn't matter who they are. Whether it's family or teachers, anybody who thinks they're an authority, whatever, any adult or any child, your age even, does not get to make you feel uncomfortable.
And she did the whole time. She was glaring at my sister. We told her about the tattoos and she said, what am I getting you then? And she just kept chiming in. At one point I want to be like, Mom, shut the fuck up. But I didn't. I'm just like,
But you know where that's coming
See,
from.
that's her own
Right.
issue. She's
Her
feeling left
insecurities.
out, her insecurities. She wasn't part of the group.
well, she compared me to her daughter that passed away because, she's my adopted mom.
Yeah.
So she said, Britt would have had me included. Britt would have. And I said, I'm not her. I'm me. I'm Nicole. And I'm sorry, I don't mean it in a disrespectful way, but you can't compare or try to make me who you want me to be. I am my own person.
Yes. So we're going to do a resilience scale in a minute, but I want to read you this. Resilience is a very, very important part of positive psychology. Research shows that people that are more resilient are happier, have better well-being.
what is it?
Resilience is like when you can deal with tough situations, when you have like a grit to you, a sturdiness to you, and you can deal with things like this. So 10 components to resilience: optimism, altruism, a moral compass, faith and spirituality, humor, having a role model, having a social support system, facing your fear, finding a meaning or having a purpose or a meaning in life, and having training. These are the 10 components of resilience. However, these 5 emotions show lack or a diminished amount of resilience. Anger, depression and sadness, guilt. I'm hearing a lot of guilt here. Okay? Anxiety or fear. I also hear a lot of fear, as if you're not allowed to be your own person, and embarrassment. So these reduce resilience. okay? So I gave you the brief resilience scale, it's just a few questions. And let's go ahead and answer those.